Hey there. In this section, I'm going to be talking about and discussing the research that I've done on journaling. And so when I was working on my doctorate, a lot of the research that I had done was specific about mental health, specific about the journaling process, and then how the two work together. And in my own research, I had participants that journaled. They were all educators. And so I compiled the data from what I had read about other people's research and then my own, and put those things together to kind of just give some examples of what journaling is. There are some certain things that kind of came to the surface that said, like, this is what you need to know about journaling. And so the whole point of me writing my book and then conducting more research with other people that I know, and then supporting you through this course is really just to share with others what journaling is. And so first of all, it is a coping strategy. So as I've said, there are lots of different ways that you can support your own mental health as far as cooking, walking, exercise, are those kinds of things. But journaling is definitely one of the techniques that many people recommend, especially therapists, counselors, those kinds of people, just to be able to get your thoughts out and processed. So that's the first one. And then reflection is another big important thing. And so the importance of reflection is just thinking back through things and looking for patterns, looking for connections, and being able to process things that have happened in your life. So as I have talked about previously, it could be things that have to do with anxiety, depression, trauma. I mean, it could be good things as well, but usually it's the negative things that kind of keep coming back to us. And so journaling is a great place to be able to work through some of those different activities and thoughts in your mind. So obviously journaling is self-care, and I've talked a little bit about that. And so really just that idea of people that have a daily habit of journaling, it's helpful to them to be able to get feelings out, to kind of do some venting that way, but then also like focusing on gratitude, focusing on positivity, and due to that process of doing that all the time, then it also can lead to other positive things like, being able to sleep better, eating habits may be better, some of the problems that you're working through, because you're working through it, they tend to get better and lower stress. So that's where that comes in. Connections is another really important one. And so the whole point of looking back and reflecting is trying to find some of those patterns. And that's another one of what journaling is as well, is discovering patterns. But when you find those connections or patterns between and among things in your journal, so that's why it's important to go back and look through, but you can kind of figure out, like, what are some of those things that I get stuck on quite a bit. As I've shared for myself, money is one of those that comes up quite a bit as far as a negative thing. So patterns that I might find is that I'm constantly saying after moments of having a bill or something that's coming up that I don't feel well, or that I feel depressed or I feel anxious or whatever. And so the connection between those is money, and so for yourself, it could be like maybe being around certain people, or maybe going to some kind of event that you didn't really want to do, but you went to, or you did anyway, and then you realized that that wasn't a good idea. And so journaling really just helps to focus on those different things. One of the quotes that I found is journaling is having a relationship with your mind. And that kind of sounds a little bit like cheesy or whatever, but really it's not, because what's happening is it's taking all of the things that are happening in your mind as you're working through problems or through good things, and excited about things. And then you're able to get those things out by writing them on paper. And then you're able to kind of like have some closure of it, or have a place that you see it later and you're like, wow, I went through that. That was hard, but I got through it. Or, because I was able to stay positive, I was able to accomplish this goal or whatever it is. And so really it's really important to look through and reflect on your journal. If and when you start one, hopefully you're starting one soon. If not now already, and really to look for all of those little moments, and figuring out, like, what do I know about myself? What do I know about my past? And what are some things I want to work on in the future so that I can, be able to create those patterns that are more positive and have those better outcomes.